again, folks, and welcome to Black Bear Outdoors with me, Delta Sierra, and the Rural Deputy. So today we've got a fun video for you, and we decided we're going to select 3 guns from each of our collections that we believe are guns that you can absolutely trust your life to. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight into it. So what's your first pick there?
First pick, truly the favorite's the Staccato P. I carry it on duty probably 98% of the time. It's proven. It's been, you know, how many departments now are up to use? I think like 1,500.
Jeez.
Plus your competition shooters. So I would say comfortably, yeah, you can absolutely trust your life to it. Now, that being said, not everybody's got $3,000 to go drop on an EDC or a home defense, or, you know, so it is a bit of a novelty market as well.
Yeah, I mean, my kind of experience with Staccato is pretty much yours, but they used to be, when we used to shoot competition, they used to be STI, right? And they were fantastic competition pistols. And when they went into this, turned into Staccato, that's when they kind of decided to take all that experience and kind of smoothness and whatever and create a duty weapon. And they made a fantastic piece of machinery there.
Right, absolutely. As a duty weapon, it is great. As a range gun, it's phenomenal. But, you know, like you said, as long as you maintain it, it works every time. So as a trust your life, absolutely 100%. Downside to it, and like you're full on scavenging, hunting and scrounging, and I don't know that would be my first choice, just because, you know, in the elements and everything else, you've got hammer fire versus striker fire, so it's going to be more susceptible to dirt, dust, cold, things like that. The elements, trying to find magazines, replacement parts, things like that, they're just not going to be out there in your zombie apocalypse type scenario.
Which is fair, you know, they're going to be spares because not everybody has them. And I mean, it's got such tight tolerances that, like you said, the maintenance is a little bit more on them. And that's not really something that you would want in a zombie apocalypse, though.
Right.
But it'll get the job done, you know. And again, just from my experience shooting your pistol, I can never afford one, I'm a poor, that's the most phenomenal trigger I've ever shot on a pistol. It's a different experience, right? It's like the Bugatti of pistols where the rest are Toyotas, right?
Yeah, it is really nice. It'll shoot really fast. It shoots really accurate. It's everything that you'd want to look for. But again, on your typical budget, not everybody's going to be able to do that one.
No, that's for sure. Good choice, and I would certainly trust my life to it. All right, so guys, my first choice is not a Staccato because I can afford one, but it is my everyday carry pistol. So this is the Walther PDP Compact. It's the 4-inch barrel version, and it's currently got a Romeo X Pro red dot on it. Now, from my perspective, see, I kind of like the German guns and their ergonomics, you know, the HKs, the Walthers, and that kind of stuff. This thing, you know, at the risk of sounding like Paul Harrell, just fits my hand really well. I love the chunky slide on it. It feels beefy in my hand, which gives me the opportunity to grip it properly. It's got a phenomenal trigger for a striker fire pistol, for sure. Comes with all the bells and whistles you need. It's got some great slide serrations. I got a number of rounds through this thing with 0 failures. And it shoots great. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I do trust my life to it every day because this is my current EDC, and it's nice and concealable, but it's not too small, not too big. It's kind of that perfect midway for a guy my size, right? Right.
It's concealable for, you know, the more girthy frames, and I like it because they're well engineered. They shoot well. I like the aggressive serration, so if you've got gloves, your hands are wet, whatever, it's designed to still be able to rack the slide and manipulate it. And it's got a really nice trigger. Yeah, that's for sure. And you'll see with the ergonomics on this is very similar to HKs and things like that. It feels like a very natural point for me personally. Right. So, yeah, that's why I chose this as my EDC as well. And you can definitely bet your life on these. They're ultra reliable. Again, I haven't torture tested it, but for my purposes as an EDC, and even in you know, an SHTF scenario or something like that, it would serve you well. It's going to keep chugging. Again, the drawback to something like this, for example, it's not as common as some of your other brands, so you know, finding mags and things might be more difficult, and it has a 15-round capacity. It's not a full 17 or more. But other than that, definitely I would recommend this for the price tag of around $5.99. You cannot go wrong with something like this. No, and they are just quality right out of the box. Totally agree. So what's your next choice then? Next up, because everybody's got to have one. Out of the several Glocks I still own, the G45, without a doubt, my favorite. Mm-hmm. It shoots flat. It runs nice. I've been carrying Glock on duty for 8 years. So I trust my life to the brand regularly, just as countless others do. Mm-hmm. They're battle tested, proven. You're not going to go wrong in that $500 to $600 range. Especially if you're a new shooter, you want something basic that works. It's basic, it works every time. It takes a little bit of getting used to with slightly different grip angle, but like for the new shooters, not to sound bad, but you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know the grip angle's off, you shoot just fine with it. Yeah,
true. So, I mean, my experience, again, I'm one of those guys who I do struggle with the Glock grip angle. It makes me work really hard to shoot it straight. But as far as Glock models go specifically, right, I think the 45 is the one that feels best to me personally. I don't know if it's the grip versus slide size or what it is, but it feels much more controllable for me than any of the other ones. I mean, I've had a 17 and a 22 and things like that, and this one is just more comfortable to shoot for me personally. Somebody who does struggle a little bit with the Glock grip angle.
And I like this one because you've got your full-size grip and your 17-round magazines, your 4-inch barrel, your shorter slide like your compact, so concealability is there, but it's also a nice size for duty carry. And I'll still use this once in a while on some of my contract work where it's concealed as required. And like I said, I'd absolutely trust it. The other nice thing is in your SHTF type scenario, very low maintenance. Mags, everything's just everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, almost everybody has a Glock somewhere in the country.
Right. So the market's just so flooded that you're going to be easier to come across with that. And like versus the staccato, if you're out in the dust and everything for a few days, you're going to have to break it down and clean it, make sure it's going to run right. Whereas you get to the Glock, you just like show it a bottle of CLP every few months and then don't give it any, just show it to it. Like, nope, not yet, not for you.
Scare it back into functioning.
Right.
Yeah, and again, I don't think there's anything else that has a track record like it, with military and law enforcement. Definitely no issues with trusting my life to a Glock as well.
Right, and that's one of those, I mean, you look at all the Gen 3 clones that are coming out, and even the ones that were kind of pushing the boundaries before that. Glock did one thing, they did it very well. A lot of other people are going to try and build off of that. Sadly, Glock's not one of them that tries to build off of that. They're just like
the same.
Yeah, it's like a Hilux. It's like, here, it still works. You're fine.
That's true. We had 40 years to improve it. We didn't.
Yeah.
But it's still, like you said, it works, and it works every time, and that's super important. Awesome. No, great pistol to trust your life to for sure, guys. All right. So my next one is going to be a controversial one. I quite like this pistol. This is my SIG P320 X-Carry Legion. It's got the Wilson Combat grips on it with the Romeo 1 Pro for its optic. A lot of people, there's controversy about SIGs. Oh, it's going to shoot you by itself. I don't pay too much attention to that. However, I did put an aftermarket manual safety on this one from HK Parts. Sorry, not HK Parts, SIG Mechanics, I think was the guys. But it's a great shooting pistol. It is ultra reliable. I have never had an issue with mine. I know Honest Outlaw, for example, struggles with SIGs, but I've never had an issue, to be honest. It's got a really nice trigger. You got the modularity, so if you want to kind of change your grips around, you can to kind of fit you specifically. It's insanely accurate, but I think that's kind of a SIG thing. SIGs out of the box for me is very, very accurate. Again, ultra reliable. You got all the features that you want on this one. You got your rails. You got. It comes with the X-Ray 3 sights, which is the suppressed ride sights. The only thing I don't like about this, the Legion version of it, is if you take the optic plate out, you lose your rear sight. Right. Which kind of, to me, is not the best design ever. But I like the big window on the dot. And it shoots phenomenally well, so that's kind of, I would trust my life to it just because of the fact that, again, yeah, the military is using it right now and all that, that's all good and well, but my personal experience with it, and I've had this for several years, is I've never ever had a failure on it.
Right, and I've had good experiences with SIGs. I've had a 320, I've got the 2022 now. worked for an agency that had the 226s, 229s. And a lot of the agencies I know, or guys I know that work for the agencies that are running SIGs, they're still running SIGs that are 20 years old. Mm-hmm. Should you? No. But, you know, I digress on that one. But they're doing it because they can.
Yeah. No, that's for sure.
And just SIG is one of those. The first time I shot one was on a qual course, passed no problem. They shoot nice, they're accurate. A little bit higher on the maintenance side than, say, your Glock, but it's a little bit nicer than a Glock, so.
True. And, you know, you do get people that say the bore axis is quite high or whatever, but honestly, that's not something that really bothers me personally, right? I'm not Jerry Michalak, you know?
Right.
So for me, it shoots just great. And like you said, they're oddly a very, very accurate pistol straight out of the box, right? But yeah, so that would be my second choice out of my collection. You can certainly bet your life on these, unless it shoots you in the crotch.
Which we don't recommend. Do not try that at home. The other one out of my collection here, and this is probably my most common off-duty carry, is my M&P 2.0. Mm-hmm. This thing is, I've run it for, I've had it probably 6-7 years. I don't even know. I have no idea how many rounds I've run through it. I've never had a failure. Like the Glock, it's lower maintenance. It's dependable, durable, reliable. I mean, Smith & Wesson really did an incredible job when they came out with this design. This one's got a little bit better hinge trigger in it. You know, I'm not a fan of the first gen hinge triggers. Mm-hmm. But like I said, this thing, it shoots nice, it shoots comfortable. It's got your more aggressive stippling on the grip. Or if your hand's wet, muddy, dirty, gloves, whatever. And I absolutely trust this thing daily. Mm.
And I agree. You know, I'm a huge fan of the Smith & Wesson M&P series, especially the 2.0s. They're fantastic. And you know, Mrs. Bear actually has one of the original versions, right? The trigger is horrendous on that thing, but it's still ultra reliable. This one has got it still has the hinge trigger, but it's far better, like you said. And I mean, if you look at the torture tests and things that Grantham has put these through, they're remarkable in their performance. But for me as well, you know, they now have that kind of same track record as Glock, because they've been used for a number, not exactly, but you know, they're close. They're good enough for me to absolutely trust a pistol like this as well. I shoot these better because, say it's grip angle or whatever, the ergonomics, but I like how the M&Ps shoot. They're a very comfortable shooter, comfortable grip to have. They shoot really flat, and like you said, this thing is just going to keep chugging. It's not going to ever let you down. And
with these, you know, if you change out your back strap, that gives you different thickness options on the handwell, because ultimately it's all about preference and what works for the individual. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this one I would absolutely trust. Like I said, I carry it most of the time on my off duty. I would not hesitate to rely on it on duty, SHTF, or anything like that.
And another thing is, at the price point that you pay for these, it's insane value. It is a really, really very high quality pistol that you're getting for, what are they getting, like 700, about 600-700?
Something like that. Like I said, I've had this one for a while, so it was south of 500 when I bought it.
Oh yeah. And I mean, you get all kinds of flavors of them because they've been out there for a while now. You get ones with ported slides, with optic cuts, with or without manual safeties. You can basically, if you can think it, you can get it. Right. So fantastic choice, I think.
Yeah, like I said, I like it, and this one does have the manual safety. But again, that's, like I said, off duty, 12 o'clock carry.
Hostage situation.
Hostage, yep. Yeah. Got to have the safety. No, but the way their safety is set up, it's nice because it's like a 1911 safety. So as you build your grip, you can drop the safety off.
Perfect. Yeah, I almost didn't notice it when we were shooting this one before, but no, it's I think great choice. You can't go wrong with an M&P. All right. So our last one on the list, and my final choice, is the Germans. So again, like I said, I'm a big fanboy of the German ergonomics of the pistols that they have. This, of course, is the HK VP9, the optics ready one. There is a new version of the VP9s that just came out, the A1s. I haven't shot one of those yet. This is still the original, but I would 100% any time of the day trust my life to this thing. Great trigger, excellent ergonomics. You can basically set up your grip panels, because it's got side panels and back panels and stuff, to about 27 different configurations to actually fit your hand. got full rails, nice and big trigger guard. It does have the paddle mag release, which I honestly don't mind. I quite like that. And it's got an excellent trigger. I mean, between this and the Walther, I would say the Walther is a slightly better trigger, but this is absolutely 100% serviceable and a lot better than your normal striker fire trigger, right? Plus, this one has the HoloSun SCS on it. It's got an internal battery, so you never have to change them. Right. And every time it hits daylight, it charges up to 50,000 hour battery life, right? So theoretically, you will never have to change the battery on it, and it shoots flat.
Right. And the nice thing with the HoloSuns, because I run a lot of them, is if your battery is dead, if it's getting low, and you've got a few minutes, high intensity flashlight over the solar panel, it will give you a charge for a few minutes.
That's awesome.
And like HKs, I love them. One of the first pistols I had was the USP 40. I've had the P series, the P30 SL, P30L, or the SK and the P30L, and absolutely loved them. But HK is another one that's just got that long-standing history of quality and performance and reliability and durability.
And I agree with you. And they're actual. I mean, it's like most German products. You know, they are over-engineered, high quality tolerances, all that kind of stuff. Plus, they're on the test range. They put tens of thousands of rounds through these things before they let them go, right?
Right. So, from my perspective, again, in an SHTF scenario, maybe all the pistols, maybe with the exception of the 320 that I showed, you're going to have trouble maybe finding mags and things like that. So if you do decide to use one of those kind of like the HK or the Walthers, just stock up on mags beforehand. But what's the nice thing now, like with the HKs, is the mags are more available. When I was running that USP 40, not a lot of mags and even fewer holster options. So I mean, they were just tough to get, and if you did find them, they were California compliant. Just feels wrong to only carry 10 in a full size.
It's true, it hurts. And all the pistols that we've shown today, you know, with all the major kind of holster manufacturers, you know, things like Safariland, Tier 1, they all make holsters for all of these pistols. So
right.
I don't think you're going to have any issues with aftermarket stuff with any of these pistols. Like I said, in a zombie apocalypse situation, of course, you know, you might not find a lot of mags laying around. But, I mean, you can find all the accessories you want for any of these pistols and certainly bet your life on those. So yeah, guys, so that's the pistols we got for you today. Let us know what you think of our list. Which one would you want to carry if you have to depend on it for life and death situation? Or tell us which pistol you actually carry or you depend on a daily basis. Guys, if you were at least entertained or in any way, shape or form and a little bit more informed or educated, give us a thumbs up, please. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. That helps us out immensely. You know, it helps everybody in the 2A community to share the algorithm that this kind of stuff that you guys want to see. And if you want to help us get more gear to show you guys on the channel, you can also hit that super thanks button. From the two of us, as always, y'all stay safe and we'll see you next time.